All right, everybody, welcome back. And today, we've got a bit of a wild one to talk about because it's going to start off by sounding not very political, but then we're going to get right into it because the drama we're going to start by talking about here, kind of informed me a bit going into the secondary drama. Now, you guys should all at this point be familiar with the live streamer by the name of Emiru. She is immensely popular. If you don't know, I'm not even going to show you an image of her because you're going to see her here in some of the clips I'm going to show, but you probably already know what she looks like. You probably already know what she does and who she's friends with. She's a very popular non-political creator, and she really got a lot of broad attention when she broke up with her ex, Mizkif, another popular streamer, and outed him as an abuser. She was also assaulted at TwitchCon, which of course became a point for a lot of people to talk about because, women are not exactly protected at all by Twitch. Even their most overtly sexually victimized streamers that get stalked and attacked and have all these things they deal with. Twitch doesn't really do anything about it or take any precautions to protect them. It's really, really bad and really cringe. And Emiru was a prominent public figure who was victimized in this way, not protected by Twitch, and was the perfect person to kind of, I guess, latch this movement of calling out Twitch and these creepy weirdos online from. But Emiru isn't exactly squeaky clean. For one, I discovered Emiru in the first place because she's friends with Tectone, Asmongold, Lakari, and all the WoW bros, or at least they were the WoW bros originally. Mizkif and Emiru were playing a lot of WoW with them. They did podcasts together. They're part of OTK, or One True Kings, the content creator group that they made together. They've done a lot of stuff together. So, despite the fact that Emiru was the good guy in a lot of these past situations I covered, I always did specify, and you can go back and watch my segments from back then, this doesn't mean Emiru is a squeaky clean public figure with no skeletons in her closet. Now, one of the things that tipped me off that Emiru might be a little bit fake, if that makes sense, was something fairly niche. Now, spoilers, kinda, not really spoilers, but if you want to go completely blind into the future of Chainsaw Man, when it gets adapted to screen, you might want to skip ahead 5 minutes or so, because Emiru got a ton of shit recently. This isn't a big deal, but I think it's relevant. I'll explain why. Emiru got a ton of shit recently when she and her friends decided to cosplay Chainsaw Man characters. Here you've got Reze, you've got Denji, and then you've got Emiru cosplaying a character that, unless you've read the manga, you won't know.
What's her name, Renee?
Reze.
Reze.
My fit. I did
That's
the
Emiru.
makeup and the contacts, but it's
Boy,
backwards.
say what you want.
Asa. I'm Asa from Chainsaw Man.
I'm Asa. I'm Asa from Chainsaw Man. Now, the pronunciation of Asa as Asa is kind of insane, okay? Now, I'm pretty certain Asa is pronounced Asa, because I don't think there are hard A syllables in Japanese names. So, Asa is definitely pronounced Asa. Also, that's not Asa. That's Yoru. My fellow Chainsaw Man readers in chat are cringing their asses off at this clip right now, that's not fucking Asa! Yeah, Fulcrum Ezio has read Chainsaw Man clearly and knows that is not Asa. Oh my god, is that heckin' Japanese schoolgirl character number 200? I will say, of all the Japanese schoolgirl characters in manga, Asa and Yoru are some of the coolest and most well-written. So, besmirching these two characters is pretty sacrilegious to Chainsaw Man fans. It's this is legitimately the Chainsaw Man equivalent of saying, oh yeah, I'm doing my Mr. Hyde cosplay, but you're dressed as Dr. Jekyll. It's that level of, oh man, you're you're not living that one down. So she kind of comes off as a bit of a fake Chainsaw Man fan here. Her pronunciation of the character's name is also pretty off. So with that in mind, people on certain sides of the internet were already starting to turn a little bit on Emiru. Like, it seemed like, you know, pretty clearly she was cosplaying a popular character, pretending to be a fan of that medium that she probably hasn't read. Like, it seems pretty likely she hasn't actually read Chainsaw Man. This clip is pretty,
In the context, but it's
Why are you
backwards.
saying that?
Asa! I'm Asa from Chainsaw Man.
I'm Asa.
I'm Makima, and I took off my outfit partially, and now I'm trying to get it back on.
Be Denji, nigga. You dig what I'm saying? You see my power core right? I want chainsaws.
That is the most accurate Denji cosplay ever. If you've read Chainsaw Man and watched it, you'd agree. Like, that, he even has, like, Denji's vibe down. Like, he's like, that is how I imagine Denji would be, unironically. But overall, Emiru got a lot of shit for that. She got a lot of shit for that from the Chainsaw Man community, but it's like, what's this have to do with politics? What's this have to do with politics? My main point is, Emiru went from being a very celebrated figure that had very little in the way of people criticizing her to someone who is actually getting called out and was seen as someone who might not be the most sincere. Like, maybe she does do things actively for the purpose of, like, attracting an audience, even if it's a bit dishonest, or maybe doesn't talk about things in order to avoid, you know, keeping an audience at a distance, right? Like, my point is, a lot of people started to think she might be a clout chaser. She might put clout over principles, truth, honesty, being real with people. And it was something so simple, of course, but when this happened, a lot of people were already primed to be like, well, yeah, the same girl who pretends to be a Chainsaw Man comic reader might also pretend to not know about politics in order to keep herself from ostracizing certain audiences, especially when you consider what her friend group looks like. And moving on, I suppose, Emiru was asked why she hasn't talked about the ICE stuff that's happening, you know, in the country she lives in, why she doesn't have an opinion on it. And her response has more or less been, well, actually, no, I've got a video here that dives into all of it. So let's go ahead and watch this video. I gave you guys a little bit of background on Emiru, a little bit of background on why I personally think she might be a little bit of a clout chaser. You know, I definitely see it as potentially plausible that she pretends to not know things or pretends to know things in order to, you know, be a little bit more brand friendly broadly. So I got this video here from Cirrus TV that apparently dives into, you know, this whole Emiru Ice situation. Because supposedly she just doesn't know anything about politics. She has no opinion on it because she just doesn't know anything about it. She's so tabbed out of the world of politics. Now, I think most people, if you follow her, you already know that's bullshit. Like, the people she's friends with very clearly indicate a political bias. We're not stupid, okay? Everyone's got political opinions. Everybody's got their opinions on relevant political issues. No one is literally completely tapped out of that stuff. No one I've ever met, at least, has known nothing about politics. Emiru is not the type of person to know nothing about politics. Her doing this is like, she was baited by a chud mod. Yeah, like, many of her community and mods are themselves chuds. That kind of suggests that she didn't build an audience that she could completely divide and fracture by having an opinion on this stuff on accident. And she isn't having this take where she has, like, no strong opinion on the issue on accident, okay? Like, content creators know what they're doing when they cater to a particular audience. There is not a single content creator on the face of the planet who has ever accidentally fostered an audience. You always know as it's happening. Every creator does. They do it on purpose. So, I won't lie, I kind of fall more on the canceling Emiru side of things here. All right, and I won't lie, maybe I'm a little biased because she disrespected Yoru, okay? But mostly it's because she's acting spineless here and pretending to be ignorant. Playing dumb is one of the most obnoxious things anyone can do to me. So, without any further ado, link will be down below in the description if I don't fucking forget when I'm uploading the video, because I usually upload these things at 3 a.m. To the original video by Seros TV, so go ahead and give that a view, a like, a comment, and a sub, and all that good stuff. And in the meantime, let's give this a watch.
Am I right, fellas?
I probably should not have muted the video. That was probably a bad idea. I don't know why I had it so low. Oh, probably because my music is set to the same audio level and YouTube saves it. That's probably why. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we?
So recently, a streamer known as Emiru, this woman right here, said a very powerful, amazing political statement by taking a stance of sitting on the fence. And I'd like to show you that statement right here. Context of the clip is that she was asked a question on her opinions on ICE, and she simply said that statement. Now, a lot of people are tearing her apart. 35 million views on Twitter. People were going sicko mode, just tearing her apart and tearing her at the reams and pulling her apart. And I'm here to invite you, the slop. Pig slop. Look at Porky Pig right here. They used to make fun of people for having a stutter, and Porky Pig was pretty much the main premise of that.
Listen, my general position is that most likely Emiru probably doesn't have super right-wing political opinions or anything, but that I don't want to sound like Mizkif talking about Emiru here, but like, Emiru does things she knows will do well with her audience and will pretend to not know what she's doing. A lot of female streamers are like this, where they'll like do things that, you know, they know a lot of male audience are there because they find women attractive and they find that particular female streamer attractive, and they'll play into that attractive factor to varying degrees, and some will play more coy about that than others, but a lot of female streamers do that, and it's like, well, come on now. All right, we all know, like if you ever talk to someone who is a, you know, relatively successful female streamer behind the scenes, they aren't exactly shy about the fact that they know their attractiveness, or the fact that men find them attractive is a draw. And when it comes to Emiru, I think she does the same thing, and it goes beyond that. I think it also extends to all creators as well, in that you don't want to alienate people, and there are a number of things that you will learn will alienate people. Whether you're a man or a woman making content. If you're a woman making content, there's a chance that a lot of men watch you because they're attracted to you, so something you might not want to talk about is if you ever get into a relationship. Like, as a woman, in general, it's advised, if you're a public figure, to avoid talking about being in a relationship because you might have some dudes, like, angrily unfollow you, right? And in the same way, no matter who you are, if you're a public figure with a big following and you start dipping into politics after having previously been silent on it, or even maybe kinda sort of making your space extra acceptable, extra accepting of certain political sides of the aisle, then when you actually do take a principled stance on something, it's self-destruction. So you kind of like I don't believe any content creator that says they didn't take a I don't believe any content creator when they say they're only taking a milquetoast position on a political issue because they don't know about it. Like, they're doing that sincerely, because every content creator knows there are certain things that when you talk about them or discuss them, you alienate people. Maybe even half the people who watch you, and it is, you know, not exactly good for your brand, unless you are a political person like me, for instance. Obviously, when I talk about politics, it doesn't hurt my brand because I started talking about politics, and I've never pandered to a group that would be upset by me discussing what I believe.
the premise of that. That's how he operated. That's how he spoke. Also, on a very real note, you probably shouldn't eat pork. Pork is very unhealthy for you. Just want to get that out there. It's not good for your digestive system. It's not good for the betterment of your body. You're a growing boy. You're a growing girl. You're a growing person. Don't eat pork. Eat something better. Maybe some chicken. Maybe even some veal, despite the fact that it's a baby deer. Maybe not veal. Veal is evil. Cereal is basically dessert. Who said that cereal was healthy to eat in the morning? This is all dessert. Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Cocoa Puffs. We have strawberry milkshake flavored Frosted Flakes. Did you know we had that? That's insane. There's an Oreo cereal. It's all just dessert. I don't even know why am I talking? Sorry. Drama. Streamer. Yes, right. Ladies with gentle hands, I ask you a simple question. What is a streamer's primary job? I want you to comment it down in the comment section down below. What do you think a streamer's primary job is? Is to manipulate you? That's just option A. Manipulate. Option B, retain. Or option 3, guide your political compass. Go ahead and just answer that. We have some time here in the audience. Anybody want to answer? Go ahead and just comment down below. We just have 3 options here to get your answer here. I'll give you the answer in 3, 2. It's to retain you. You see, their drug of choice is attention, and they are addicts. Bo Burnham once famously said, my drug's attention. I am an addict, but I get paid to indulge in my habit. It's all an illusion. I'm wearing makeup. Good warning, by the way, because this is how streamers operate. The product, the vessel for it, is engagement. Their success is measured in concurrent viewers, subs, clips, and brand deals. Every word spoken into that microphone, every expression made into that webcam exists within this economic gravity. That's how
I would add one caveat here, and I would say successful streamers. Because if you're not willing to do these things, the internet will punish you, accordingly. And I like to think that I avoid falling into the common pitfalls of a lot of these creators, and I think that I have regularly taken the punishment for that. But at the same time, in the long run, I think I'll be able to reap the reward of that as well. Because as much as selling out and being a grifter and just trying to pander to an audience and retain people for the sake of whatever cheap method could be done to do that, as much as that may help in the short term, I think in the long term I'd rather have a community that's built up slowly, even with me getting canceled all the time for having principled takes on issues the left doesn't necessarily agree with me on. Even then, I'd rather slowly build up an audience of people that I like and agree with than an audience of people overnight that I'm kind of beholden to, which is really common with political pundits. They blow up in a really short period, and a vast majority of their audience is a certain side or a certain group or whatever, and if you ever upset them, well, there goes 90% of your audience overnight, because you gained 90% of your audience overnight from probably the same source. That's how Hassan's audience is. You're damn right.
How it works. For example, when you look for them on a take on Gaza, right? Or Palestine or Israel, when you look at that, you are looking at them for something ridiculous. Let's be real here. You look for them to take on elections, or when you look for them for a take on Gaza, on trans rights. As a matter of fact, on any complex, painful, real-world issue, you are not consulting some scholar or an activist or somebody that is profound with a PhD in that degree. No, you are consulting a content creator. That is what you are doing. Their analysis is not a public service. It is a piece of content. That is how content creators work. And what Emiru said in the clip is correct. Why are you listening to content creators about politics? She knows something that we don't. Well, actually, she knows something that you don't. I know it, but you don't know it. It's the fact that these guys, all of them, are paid to say the most reactionary nonsense ever. That's all they do. Just reactionary garbage. It's designed to fit a specific format, please the algorithm, and most crucially of all, resonate with the specific audience that pays their bills. Have you ever tried arguing with a very hard Trump supporter? Really, have you ever tried doing that? Have you ever realized that it's pointless to argue online? You ever realize you're going back in circles with somebody that you're never going to break through to, and you're just wasting your time? You just wasted 2 hours typing out paragraph, and saying, well, I hope the person that needs to see this sees this, because hopefully you'll see that I'm right and the other person's wrong. That's not going to happen, because the person that needs to see it is never going to see your comment. Ever. They're never going to see it. Want to know why? Because the algorithm is going to push people that just sit on the fence, the average person, is going to sit the fence and watch the two reactionaries, two extremists, battle it out and duke it in the Coliseum. They're going to battle each other. That's what's going to happen. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. And it's not about if somebody is good, evil, racist, fascist. It's not about that anymore. No. Not for content creators. Not at all. That's not how it is. It is about using those words, those specific words, to get incentive structures. A streamer's political stance, whether it be Hasanabi, whether it be Asmongold, whether it be Miskif or Emiru, even Moist Critical, really doesn't matter. And Moist Critical doesn't really give political takes besides openly opposing Trump, and people think that he's a fence sitter, but that's besides the point. It's often less a deeply held conviction. It's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? A branding decision. It's a branding decision. Branding for themselves. A calculation of what their community expects, what the algorithm will boost, and what will keep the super chats flowing in. As a matter of fact, guys, donate $20 right now, please. I need that because I think what's the comment thing? I think that Trump is evil. Ooh, you guys like that, right? Trump is evil. Yeah.
Can you tell this guy is a bit of a anti-left or right-wing politics creator guy? I can't really blame him. A lot of people don't, especially on the left, a lot of people are completely unwilling to accept how much damage Hassan Piker specifically, literally no one but Hassan and his circle of orbiters have done to the left's perception among like just everybody online. Like Hassan and his sphere of orbiters have really hurt the perception of the left, and you can tell that like he's talking about all political content creators right now, but if you actually know the examples that he's pulling from, because he's kind of specific in his examples, and you know like, okay, he's referencing a specific story or stories, when you know what he's referencing and kind of like vague tweeting about, it's like, wait, you're just talking about Hassan and his orbit and then the right, you know? Like, there are tons of creators that don't act this way. I mean, I could name myself, but I'll name others. Hutch, notably, I'm Really Important, is really chill. Like, Kyle Kalinske, for all of his faults, is actually pretty fucking based. You got Midas Touch, Brian Tyler Cohen. Like, there are plenty of creators that don't fall into this category that he's describing, but he's painting all political streamers under the same brush because, well, frankly, Hassan's the most prominent. Like, is it really that unfair to characterize political streamers this way if Hassan is the biggest of all of us by a lot? By, like, a lot? Like, is it that unfair to characterize all of us this way if 90% of people who watch political content watch Hassan? Like, if someone like me or Hutch or I'm Really Important or something, if we're the minority, then yeah, I guess political content creation is kind of cooked. I can't really blame people like this guy for seeing it that way. But it sucks that this is the current, like, landscape that we're trying to speak to people and reach them in, right? We're just like, everybody is ready to turn their brains off the second that you indicate you have any kind of political bias and are trying to convince them. By the way, is Zan a little bit quiet? Oh, okay, am I a bit quiet? Let me slightly boost my audio a little bit. There we go.
I also think that gay people deserve rights. Yes, that's brownie points. Yeah, I'm doing so good. Yeah, okay. And I also think Justin Bieber sucks. I don't know. I'm lost on years right now. Every day is a blur for me. Behind closed doors, Hasanabi could be homophobic, racist, and transphobic. We wouldn't know. Behind closed doors, your favorite person could be a piece of garbage, but in public, they put on a persona to be what you need them to be because you love your echo chamber. That's how it operates. See, watch the machinery at work. Just watch it. Watch it. It doesn't reward nuance. It doesn't reward, well, I don't know. I didn't have time to think about it. It doesn't reward the slow, awkward, necessary process of changing one's mind when new information is presented. It only rewards certainty. Clean, clippable, tweetable certainty. That's what it rewards. It rewards outrage. Righteous, shareable, morally saturated outrage. Identification. Clear villains. Clear heroes such as Optimus Prime, Captain Planet, clear villains such as Donald.
I'm not gonna lie, like yeah, clear villains like Donald Trump for sure. When you've got Donald Trump commanding an army, more or less, against the American people in ICE. And on the other end of things, you have Democrats who, like, these people literally claimed that Hunter Biden was, like, secretly raping kids and had a laptop full of child porn for years. And now we're getting all the Epstein files now. It's implicating nothing but Republicans, pretty much. And certainly not Hunter Biden isn't implicated in any of it, right? Like, he hasn't actually been implicated in the Epstein files, and yet they went after Hunter Biden for years, calling him a pedophile. And meanwhile, the right is getting outed as the actual pedophiles by the Epstein files, and you've got centrists who've been so brain poisoned both by the actual, like, poor representation the left has had all these years with folks like Hassan, but on top of that, it's the right's own, like, let me tell you, when conservatives hear a guy like this, who is a centrist, is not, like, really, like, right or left-leaning, and just kind of is a bit of a more middle-of-the-road guy, prone to think, like, the left and right are just as bad as each other, conservatives' mouths water when they hear that. Their mouths water when they hear a, like, centrist say they think that the left and the right are equally bad. Conservatives' mouths water. They love it when that's the opinion people take. Because at the end of the day, whether you're supporting them or not, as long as you're not supporting the left, they've won. And so they love when they embrace centrists in a way that the left never will. I genuinely don't understand why you hate Hassan. Well, that's your problem, isn't it, Rephonia? You're part of the problem. Like, if you wanted to understand why I hate Hassan, it's not even, like, close to a secret anymore. Like, I've ranted about it a million times. I've shown the clips of Hassan defending imperialism. Like Hassan's also a dog abuser. Like, he shocked his dog, and everyone knows it. Like, if you just choose not to believe any of that stuff and continue to defend him, like, you're just part of the problem. You're the reason why, outside of the left, everyone thinks the left is insane, because you've chosen to join the Hassan cult, and I'm not gonna, like, scream at you for it. Like, be in the Hassan cult if you want to be, but, like, the coming in and pretending to be confused, like, Zan, why are you hate Hassan so much? Just stop with the pretending to be confused, okay? You know why I dislike Hassan. You know why liberals dislike Hassan. He encouraged his fans not to vote for Kamala, okay?
Donald Trump, JD Vance, that's what we need right now. Clearness, because there's no clarity. You want clear evil and clear good. That's what people want. A story where you, the viewer, are on the side of the angels, right? You want that, correct? And this leaves us in this big vacuum of nonsense of people with specific things where you can rely for them for the same exact takes. Let's take Hasanabi. He has unshakable ideological confidence. No matter what it is, he sounds like the greatest man to ever speak it. People love Hasanabi for that. Then you have Asmongold's gamer populist frustration. It's framed as common sense. Oh, this is common sense. Everyone does it. Listen to Fox News. He's fear-mongering, and he just says, oh, this is just patriotism. It's great. Different aesthetics. Identical mechanic. They are not doing anything but performing alignment with pre-existing audience sentiment. That's all they're doing. That's it. It's smart, though. It's smart. Because they're giving their tribe what I would deem as a narrative soundtrack. The politics are not the point. The resonance, the retention, that's the point of it all. I don't blame you, though. I don't blame you for being confused and thrown off by all this nonsense, because this is called scale distortion. Let me explain what that means real fast. A vocal minority of 1 million people, right, all shouting the same thing in the same digital space, feels like the whole world. The algorithm shows you that their comments, their retweets, their duets, it becomes deafening, a self-reinforcing echo over and over again. And you begin to think,
this is true. Everyone
thinks like this. But 1 million people is 0.0125% of humanity. That's a real number, by the way. That it's not that big. It's a very loud, very concentrated sliver. With billions of people on Earth, 1 million is not huge in the grand scheme of things. It is not. If Elon Musk gave me $20 million, he would still be $850 billion rich. Wouldn't even matter to him. The algorithm
I think this video is getting pretty darn boring, but you can kind of see where it's going with it, right? Like, defending Emiru on the grounds that, like, you know what? Emiru's actually based for not having any stance on what ICE is doing. Because anybody who wants a streamer to have a political opinion just wants to be pandered to. And it's like, at the end of the day, this is a very centrist-brained opinion. Like, there's truth to it on one hand, because he's not making this position up out of the blue, like some asshole or something, to be clear. He's holding this position because he's observed things that have led him to believe that this is true. And probably one of the bigger observations he's made repeatedly is the fact that so many prominent progressive figures are exactly the way he's describing, that they're not much different from those on the right. But something that I think is indicative of where he stands on the issue is the fact that, like, if you believe something so beyond the pale that in your country is happening, that it needs to be called out, like, it needs to stop, like, it is bad, then there's a certain point where, hey, stay in your lane stops mattering, and it becomes a, yeah, I want to hear everybody's take on this kind of thing, right? Like, if there was a meteor coming to wipe out all of humanity in 1 week, like, we just got the news, guys, it's over. All life on Earth will be made extinct by the end of the week. The meteor's coming, it's over. Wouldn't you be, like, expecting everyone to have a take on it? Like, Don't Look Up situation happens. Don't you expect everybody to have a take? Then again, Don't Look Up is a movie about everyone deciding to just pretend it's not happening. But my point being, there are certain things that are such a big deal. It's like, well, okay, no one's expecting Emiru to become a big political streamer here, but I think it's reasonable to be like, hey, Emiru, you live in America, right? What are your thoughts on the fact that, like, in your city right now, they've got, like, jackbooted fascist thugs roaming the streets looking for brown people to curb stomp? Like, what are your thoughts on that? I think having any kind of answer to that isn't, oh, I have no opinion, is kind of important. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. People like Hassan being around still holding on to relevance is holding woke from coming back. Like, call me cringe if you... What the hell? Someone did some tree planting here. Holy shit. Oh my god, what the fuck? Jesus. Space out your saplings, what the hell? Oh my lord. What the fuck? Wait, does this ever end? Who planted all this? What the fuck? Oh my god. Dude, who planted this and why didn't they they didn't break any of the logs from the big trees that they cut down. They didn't, like... This must have been Lynn. What the fuck, Lynn? Her farm does look pretty great, though. This is a pretty sick farm, not gonna lie. It's a pretty nice farm. Anyway, like... I think, unfortunately, people like Hassan and whatnot have kind of poisoned the well for us a lot, but at the end of the day, I don't want to take any blame off of people like Cirrus TV and other prominent figures that are going to no doubt jump to defend the clouded up streamer, and continue to push this idea that having an opinion on politics, or even expecting prominent people to have a position on politics, is bad. Like, I really don't like this mindset of, like, why do you care what this person's belief on this issue is? Because I think it matters. I think there are certain issues where it absolutely does matter, no matter who someone is, what their position is on that issue. Call me old-fashioned, but I think people's character says a lot about them. And it decides a lot of how I want to treat them, how I want to see them. And with Emiru, the fact that she has the take that she does when prompted, what are your thoughts on the ice stuff, it makes me feel a little icky about her, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a good person would have a strong statement to make on the issue. And if she doesn't have one, then she can only be so good of a person and sit back and say nothing about this. That's how I feel. Call me old-fashioned if you will. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable at all whatsoever, then please Consider leaving a like and a comment down below on the video, subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications if you want to see more from me. Follow my social medias linked down below, especially my fan Discord if you want to be a part of the fan base and community, the core of it that is. And of course, finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on the website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me on YouTube if you will. Though regardless of how you support the channel, thank you so much for watching, as always, and have a good one.